So, this week we're focusing on the chapter related to moral ethics and justice. And so, this is a bunch of parts of just sort of my thoughts about what's in the chapter. And the overriding themes of the chapter are that morality is shaped by codes that vary across culture, and cultures may differ on the qualities as being under the purview of morality. And we'll talk about this in many different ways and different models. So think back to 2015, and there was this Charlie Hebdo issue. And we have lots of issues we can talk about in society, but this was called Charlie Hebdo. And it was when a satirical magazine in Paris was attacked and 12 people were killed. And it was payback for an offensive cartoon, something seen as offensive, a cartoon of the Muhammad that they published. And the issue was whether it was inappropriate to publish caricatures of Muhammad and whether this polarizes the world. And people on both sides of the issue were angry and could not understand reactions of the other side. So Westerners wondered, how could cartoons spark such outrage as to kill people? And there's a treasure for freedom of expression. But for the Muslims involved in this issue, who are very, against that, they view caricatures of Muhammad in sacred terms. It's deeply offensive and shouldn't be tolerated, even if it limits freedom of expression. They see it as an attack on the Muslim faith, and so individual freedom did not trump over values. And that's not everybody. This is just what the two extreme sides were saying in this case. So in the book, they talk about secularization theory. And there's this perception among many that as the world progresses, there will be less reliance on religious explanations of the world around us, turning more towards science explanations, comprising the secularization theory. This trend is culturally constrained as religiosity rises in some regions of the world. And no doubt, this and other forms of cultural differences have shaped the moral systems in different places around the world. And we're seeing this now even in our own country, that we go back and forth on the idea of, is religion increasing or decreasing? So as you see here, there are many signs that religiosity is increasing over the past decades, especially Islam and Christianity. So to understand other cultures and faiths in terms of what is right and wrong is a huge challenge. How do we evaluate what is right and wrong in other cultures if our moral standards are acquired through socialization in our own cultures? Ethnocentricity leads people to assume that their own culture's way of life is in some ways better or more natural than that of others. So think about how we measure even just quality of life and what is important to us. Okay, we might think about longevity, physical health, income, minimum inequality. We might look at suicide rates. We might look at the number of children we have, how well our children do compared to us. There are many different things. Some people just look at happiness, emotions like happiness and sadness. So people from different cultures vary in how they value different things about life or about death. So how quality of life is measured will also be different. Cultures tend to value the characteristics for which their own culture is accomplished. Who comes out on top rankings is about who does the rankings. So if you value freedom, then those countries that value freedom will most likely measure that as their way of measuring quality of life, and then they'll be on top. We need to understand other cultures to be able to understand quality of right and the ideas of what is seen as right and wrong. So I'm going to start talking about moral development. And Kohlberg has a stage theory of morality. Its most influential model of moral reasoning having garnered an intense and immense amount of research, both for and against this model. So he proposed cognitive abilities underlie moral reasoning. These cognitive abilities progress as people develop, mature, and are educated. And the way that people view right and wrong are determined on the level of moral development achieved. The level of moral reasoning progresses as pre-conventional, conventional, and post-conventional. And this progression is also assumed to be sequential, and it's assumed to be universal. So just to give a little bit about this, for each stage, morality is different. Pre-conventional level morality is calculated by what provides the best overall return, mostly having to do with fulfilling one's own needs and desires. So it's very individual. Conventional level is morality is trying to maintain and facilitate social order by following rules and not questioning where the rules came from. And at the pre-conventional level, or post-conventional level, morality is considered abstract, universal ethical principle that emphasizes justice and individual rights by logically extending those principles. So here's a picture of this showing the pre-conventional level. I better share this toy or mommy will be mad. So what will work for me? The conventional level, we need to work together as a team and follow rules. And post-conventional level, I don't care if the law is right or wrong. It's not fair. So I'm going to stop here, and then we'll follow this up a little bit more in our next brief slides.